Library. Welcome to Kids in the Kitchen. Now that spring is almost upon us, I thought we might make a springtime dessert, which is lemon bars. This is a very refreshing kind of dessert. It's kind of sweet and kind of tart. I also want to point out that you can find this recipe and other recipes in this cookbook at the library. This is called Baking Class by Dina F. Cook, so feel free to check it out. All right, before we get started, however, there's a few things we need to do. Make sure your hands are washed, your work surfaces are clean, and if you have long hair, pull it back. All right, some of the ingredients in this particular recipe, the lemon bars, is 3/4 cup of butter. So that's 1 1/2 stick of butter. Remember that 1 stick of butter equals 1/2 cup, and 1/2 stick of butter equals 1/4 cup. If you put 1/2 cup and 1/4 cup together, that equals 3/4 cup of butter. And 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 1.5 cups of flour, 4 eggs, 2 to 3 lemons, which we're going to zest, 1/3 cup of flour, 1.5 cups of sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is put our 3/4 cup of butter into the mixer. And we want it to be fluffy, so we're going to just mix it for like a minute. Okay, this looks about ready. If your butter isn't fluffy enough for you, or a little bit on the solid side, you can always put it in the microwave first for 15 seconds, and then put it in your mixer and it'll be really fluffy. Next, I'm going to add the flour. Remember I said it was 1.5 cups of flour. So I'm just going to put this up and dump it in. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of Confectioners sugar, which is what this is. Okay, then we're just going to keep mixing. We want this to be kind of crumbly so we can pat it in a 9x13 pan. This might be a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I like to stop it, kind of just use a spatula and kind of stir it a little bit, and then start it up again. It's not going to be real smooth, but you're going to pat it in a pan. Okay, this looks good. You're going to want to be able to just pick it up and it'll like hold together like pie crust. So now we're ready to put it in our 9x13 pan. I'm just going to dump it in. And just pat it out. Now we are going to pre-bake this, meaning that we're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes before we add our filling to it. So because we're using the oven, you might want to have an adult help you. All right, so let's pat it out. I like to leave a little bit of a, sort of a little lip on the edge so that the filling doesn't bake over it. But again, you can't do it wrong. It'll be just fine, however you do it. Perfect. So now I'm going to put this in the oven for 20 minutes, and then I'll see you back here. Okay, I've taken our lemon bars out of the oven. This is just the crust part. So it's set. We want to let this cool before we put our filling in. So I'd say let it sit for like 20 minutes. You're going to want to leave your oven on because after we put our filling in, then we're going to put it back in the oven. So I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, our crust is now cool, so let's move it out of the way a little bit. And next, we're going to get some zest from our lemons. So it says 2 or 3 lemons. We are going to do a little zesting. This is a microplane, and you can zest your lemons onto a plate or into a bowl. We're going to actually need a tablespoon and a half of lemon zest, and we're going to use a 1/2 cup of lemon juice. So first we're going to zest them. And when I say zest, you want just the yellow, not the white. The white is bitter. And then after we zest them, we'll cut them in half and we will squeeze the juice out of them. Like I said, we need a 1/2 cup. If you don't have this kind of a microplane, you can also use just the small holes on a regular box grater. That would work too. Okay, next. And know that I've washed these lemons before I started grating them. Zesting them, they call it. And I'm just going to guess because I need a tablespoon and a half. I meant to tell you too, if you want to make sure you get all the juice, you can always roll your lemons before you squeeze them. That will release more of the juice. Now I'm going to cut my lemons in half, and I'm going to juice them. There's different types of equipment that you can use, tools that you can use for juicing. This is a low tech. I just will cut them in half and squeeze it and turn it, and then the juice will come out here and I'll be able to pour it. Another way, this is another kind of juicer. You cut it in half and you twist it, and that one you'd have to do over a bowl. We don't want any seeds, so you could also sift it through like a wire mesh sifter. When I say a mesh kind of sifter, this is what I'm referring to. So if you got seeds in your lemon juice, or you just want to make sure that you don't have any of the extra pieces, you could put it through this kind of a sifter colander. All right, so I've zested, so now I'm going to cut it in half. If there's seeds that I can see, I'm just going to pull them out right away. And then I'm going to just twist it like this. I'm going to move this out a little bit so you can see better. Just like this. And I got a couple of seeds, but the seeds will stay behind. So I need a 1/2 cup. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do some more. Next, alrighty, I'm going to cut my next one in half. I can see one seed that I'll just pull out. Twist. Sometimes they have different juicers that you can put the lemon in and squeeze it and all the juice will come out. There's many different kinds. Right, I'm going to just put my lemon juice right in here, and I'm going to set it aside. Next, I'm going to mix my eggs and my sugar together in the mixer bowl. So I need 4 eggs. Now my eggs are at room temperature. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Alrighty. And my 1.5 cups of sugar. And it goes. Next, I'm going to add my flour. And I'm going to add my lemon juice. Now, I'm going to use my sifter because I can see that there's a few seeds. So I'm just going to do that. It'll all come out. And see what's left behind, just a little bit of the seeds. And I said I need 1.5 tablespoons of Zest. So I'm going to just kind of guess. That's about 1 tablespoon. That's about 1/2. You could always use the leftover Zest in another recipe, muffins or something like that. You could also freeze it and use it later. And last, I'm going to put in my 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. All right, let's mix it up. All right, that's it. I'm going to give it one stir with my spatula. Make sure I have all my flour mixed in. And my sugar. Nothing sticking to the side or the bottom. Another quick stir with the mixer, so you can see it. I'm just going to dump this on. Just like this. All right, we left our oven on, so we're going to put this in the oven for 25 minutes. You want to make sure that it's set, and then we will bring it out. So I'll see you back here in about 25 minutes. Okay, I've taken our lemon bars out of the oven and I've let them cool a few minutes. So now we're going to put some powdered sugar on the top. We're just going to sprinkle it on. And we're ready to cut them. They look wonderful. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a luscious dessert? I hope you enjoy your lemon bars. Thanks for joining me today and happy spring. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.